Once the setup is completed, any file with the PHP extension will now be executed automatically by the PHP Fast CGI wrapper. This means that Apache can now communicate directly with PHP and process scripts efficiently. Now, to install Apache with PHP 8.0 on a Windows system, there are a few simple steps you need to follow carefully. Keep in mind that if the versions of Apache and PHP you are using are different, you may need to make some slight adjustments to ensure compatibility. The first step is to download the Apache server. You can do this by visiting the official Apache website at www.apache.org dist httpd binaries win32. It's recommended to download the latest stable version of Apache that comes with the no src.msi extension. Once downloaded, double-click the installer file to start the installation process. A common installation path is C/DA program files, but you can choose a different location if you prefer. During the setup, the installer will ask whether you want Apache to run as a service or manually from the command line using the DOS prompt. It is generally not advised to install Apache as a service on Windows because it may cause issues with startup or configuration changes later on. Instead, it's better to run Apache manually whenever you need it. This gives you more control over when the server starts and stops, making it ideal for development environments. After downloading the Apache server, the next step is to extract the PHP binary archive. You can use any unzip utility for this process. The most common location for extraction is c.php. Next, some of the important .dll files from the PHP directory need to be copied to the Windows system directory, which is usually c.windows. It's important to refer to the official PHP manual to check exactly which DLL files are required for your setup. In most cases, you will need the php8.dl file. Additionally, you must copy the file corresponding to the web server module, typically found at c.php sapyud.php8 apache.el, and place it into the Apache modules directory. It's also recommended to copy either php.ini or php.ini recommended from your PHP directory into your Windows directory, and then rename it to php.ini. This file controls PHP configuration settings. You'll need to edit this file to set configuration directives. For example, new users should enable error reporting by setting all inside their PHP scripts. This ensures that all errors are displayed during development, making it much easier to debug and fix issues quickly. Once all of this is done, the user will need to configure and communicate PHP properly with the Apache server for execution. To complete the configuration and make Apache recognize PHP, go to the HTTP configuration files directory of your Apache installation. Inside, you will find a file named httpd.conf. This is the main configuration file for Apache. Open this file using any text editor such as Notepad. For example, if you installed Apache inside CR Program Files Apache, then the configuration file will be located inside C Program Files Apache conf. Now, search for the term document root within the httpd.conf file. You'll find this word appearing twice in the document. Both instances refer to the directory from where Apache serves its web files. Change both paths to the directory where you plan to store your PHP files. For example, your htdocs or www folder. After that, you need to add the PHP module to Apache so it can interpret PHP scripts correctly. To do this, include the following line in your httpd.conf file. Load module PHP module modules PHP 8 apache.del next. Add this line to define PHP file types. Add type application, xhttpd php, php, phtml. These two directives tell Apache how to handle PHP files and which module to use when processing them. Once these changes are made, save the file and close it. After completing the configuration changes in the Apache files, the next step is to restart the World Wide Web service, also known as the www service. To do this, type services.msc in the Run command box of Windows, or open the Services panel from the Control panel. Once the Services window opens, scroll down the list until you find World Wide Web Publishing Service. Right-click on it and select Stop. After it stops completely, right-click again and choose Start to restart the service. In some cases, depending on system permissions or configuration changes, you might need to restart your computer to apply all the updates properly. Once your system or service restarts successfully, you can test your PHP installation. To do that, open any text editor, such as Notepad, and create a new file. Write a simple PHP script to check if PHP is running correctly on your Apache server. Now that Apache and PHP have been successfully configured, it's time to test whether PHP is running correctly on your system. To do this, open a text editor, like Notepad, and create a new file. In this file, write a simple PHP script, for example, using the PHP info function. This function displays the PHP configuration details, confirming that your setup is working properly. Once you've written the script, save the file in your web server's document root directory. This is usually located in the www or htdocs folder inside your Apache installation directory. Name the file test.php.next. Open any browser and type http://localhost test.php in the address bar. Alternatively, you can also use http://127.0.0.1 test.php. Both addresses point to your local server. When you press Enter, the browser should display a page showing detailed PHP configuration information. This means your Apache and PHP integration has been set up successfully. It's very important to remember, never open PHP files directly from your computer's drive, such as drphp codes test.php. If you do this, the file will not be executed by the PHP interpreter because it's not being processed through the Apache server. The browser will simply display the code instead of running it. Always access your PHP files through localhost or 127.0.0.1 because that ensures your system treats it as an HTTP request, allowing the web server to process and execute the file properly.